Welcome back, everybody, to This Is My Bourbon Podcast. I am your host, Perry. It is episode 399, part 2. This is the second round of interviews that I did at Bourbon and Beyond 2025. Thank you so much to everybody who listened to the first part of episode 399. You might be asking yourself, why am I doing two parts of episode 399? Well, that's because episode 400 is coming up next, and I'm trying to get together something very special for those of you who have been together, those of you who have been along for the ride for all 400 of these daggum episodes over the past 8 years, and also because it was just way too many episodes, way too many interviews to put out all into one episode, and it just seemed right to split it up into two. So if you haven't listened to the first episode, of course, you can go and check out last week's hour and a half episode, part 1, with some great content. This week, I'm just unbelievably excited for you to listen to some of my favorite musical interviews I've ever done, not to discount what I was able to sit down and talk about with Trey Zoeller, of course, of Jefferson's, who has been on the podcast before, but this was kind of a little catch-up that we were able to do briefly at Bourbon and Beyond. But I hope you enjoy it, and I'm going to leave it there, and we're going to jump right into it and enjoy. Bourbon and Beyond, day 3. I got Thunder and Rain with me here on This Is My Bourbon Podcast. Ladies, welcome.
Thank
Hi.
you.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
First of all, how are you finding the fest so far?
Wonderful. Everybody's so nice.
Everyone
is so nice.
So well organized.
Yeah, we love that.
Oh my goodness, the organization is off the charts.
It's good to hear that you're finding people to be nice in Kentucky, because that's how we like to present ourselves, at least. You know,
Our bass player is from Kentucky, so
good.
Yeah.
we're aware
Yeah.
of the Kentucky lifestyle.
He's not always nice, though, so I don't
That's
know.
true.
No, I'm just
Okay.
kidding.
So it is a bourbon podcast.
Yeah.
Your bass player is from Kentucky.
Yeah.
How often does he bring bourbon around?
Well, he's kind of a sober boy, so,
So
never.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
cool. All right,
Totally
great.
useless.
So moving on to the next question I have. I do want to talk about your all's presentation of your music as well, because when you go on something like YouTube and you search Thunder and Rain Band, one of the first few songs that pop up are covers, right? How do you all make the effort to push your own music towards your listening audience, past, like, you know, the Fleetwood Mac covers that you have out there?
Well, that's a really good question. I kind of think of the covers as kind of like a way to pull people in, like bait almost. And that's honestly, like, one of our cover videos got a ton of views, and it really helped our original music get a lot of traction too.
Right.
So I truly feel there's a halo effect, and because there's so much music out there, people like what's familiar to them. So if you can show them your style and who you are in a package that they already recognize, like a Fleetwood Mac song, and then they go in to your page and they find all your other original songs, and then they start to like those.
Right.
That I feel like that's it. You know, maybe 60% of the people that watch that video won't care about our original music, but the 40% that do, they're going to be real fans, and they're going to come to the shows, and they're going to be excited about it. So
It's really cool, too, because whenever we play live, I feel like we always have at least one person that shows up, and they're like, are you guys going to do Sweet Child of Mine? Because that's like a gateway drug for a lot of people.
Right, yeah.
But it's so fun to
Nostalgia
be on stage.
bait.
Yeah, totally. It's so fun to be on stage and watch that same person that's like so stoked for Sweet Child of Mine to be singing along to all the words of all the original songs,
Right.
too. And like they're just like so happy like to be at the show, and like just so thrilled like to hear our music. And it's just, yeah, it's cool that they can like kind of be drawn in like that, but then not just drawn in but sucked in. Like they're 100% there, you know?
yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say, I apologize. I love, too, that, you know, being a Kentuckian and not just like inherently going like, oh, I love bluegrass because we're in the bluegrass state too, but that there's still a good swath of people who are keeping bluegrass music alive, and you all are doing it in a very authentic way. I would say, not to say that there isn't value to like the newgrass movement that is happening, but I think that it is still fun to have bluegrass at its core being represented. So where do you all see that in and of itself with bluegrass music at the forefront right now for folk music, I guess?
It's really nice to see. Bluegrass has always kind of been on my radar, and like in my part of my life, I grew up in Northeast Georgia, and there's a good bit of bluegrass there. But it has there's been two big resurgences of bluegrass, which was when "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" came out.
Yeah.
And
of
then
course.
When Billy Strings has gotten so popular, it's really mainstreamed it, and I just think that's really cool. But I like what they're doing. They're doing originals, and Billy's jamming and doing the crazy stuff and effects, but he's also doing really traditional music too.
Definitely.
And I really appreciate all the artists that are doing that, and we're trying to do that too. We've got originals, but we always add in traditional bluegrass covers, some traditional like old country, like Loretta Lynn and stuff like that. So we're trying to just keep the stuff alive as much as possible.
I appreciate that too. I mean, it's there's no reason to limit yourself, I guess. But I mean, if you're doing "Sweet Child of Mine,"
Yeah.
why should you stop? At Loretta Lynn, I guess.
Yeah.
There's no stop point.
We don't have rules.
Yeah.
There's no rules.
We just do what we like, honestly, and then if people like it, then we'll keep doing it even past when we don't want to do it anymore. But it's nice when someone likes something you're doing, but we just do what we want to do.
Right. And I feel like bluegrass inherently is fairly limitless,
It can be.
It's a very, open to interpretation style of music. Like you just can run with it in so many different directions.
Some people think
like.
bluegrass, we're taking a picture. Some people think bluegrass is just Bill Monroe's music, or like
of course.
or like the Bluegrass Boys that came after him and all the bands they formed, like Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs or whatever.
Right.
Some people think Mumford and Sons is bluegrass music and Avett Brothers is bluegrass music, which they're not right, but
Sure.
it's fun. What like Mumford and Avett Brothers did like early on in the band was that had more people hire us because they're like, oh, you remind me of the Avett Brothers. I love bluegrass, which
Right.
we're like,
Okay.
whatever it
Sure.
whatever it takes.
Yeah.
I think what I love most about being a bluegrass band is we can play any type of music we want, but the setup is to me what's the most appealing. I love being a string band. There's so much freedom in a string band. It's easy. We can bring our stuff. We walked all our stuff to our stage, just like we don't have anything. All the music we make is just with our strings on these wooden boxes or metal if you're Laura. But I think that setup is such a fun way to make music. And anytime I've played with drums,
Right.
I'm honestly like, why is the drummer here? And no offense to drummers. I'm very sorry, drummers. A lot of you are amazing. But I personally don't want to play with a drummer. I just want to drive bluegrass with my band.
But you can replicate percussion with
That's
any
the whole
stringed
point.
instrument.
Yeah, all the sonic layers are there, and you can play with them in really, really fun ways, which is why it's fun to cover songs bluegrass style, quote unquote, like "Sweet Child of Mine" or "Dreams" by Fleetwood Mac, because you can cover these parts traditionally done with anything, a synth, an electric guitar, but do it with a fiddle or a banjo, and it suddenly takes on this whole new life. And that's why a bluegrass cover can hit so much harder than just like a rock band covering "Dreams," which I'm sure is awesome too, but it's just like, whoa, this is the same, but so different sonically, and I think that's what's really exciting about it.
I've had so much fun talking to artists this weekend about the way that they are pushing music into different directions. Like I was talking with the guys from Yachtly Crew earlier too about like, yes, they're playing yacht rock, but they're introducing like a harder rock emphasis into the covers that they do too. And it's just so much fun to realize that, I don't know, maybe people are getting bored with the same old styles of music and they just want to elevate the songs that we've always heard, you know, into new realms. But it's just great to, you know, continue to see music evolve, even if, you know, there are songs that we've heard 100 times before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like music's not, it's not done evolving.
No, it's
think.
kind of like great drinks, right? Because you like bourbon. This is
Yes.
a bourbon podcast.
Yeah.
Or great food, right? Like
What a
fusion,
segue.
like fusion food. You can
Yes.
there used to be only Mexican or Korean. Now there's
Yeah.
Korean Mexican. Why not combine them? There used to be like bourbon only used to be made in this certain way. Now we can make it in all these other ways to elevate different textures, patterns of the taste or whatever.
Exactly.
I'm actually not a huge bourbon drinker. You have to talk to Laura about bourbon.
I do like bourbon.
But
Yeah.
you know, I just think like everything in modern day is mixed up. We're all getting more mixed. We're all getting more like hybrid in a sense.
Absolutely.
And so why wouldn't music follow the same thing? And who doesn't love a fusion of all kinds, you know?
The melting pot
Exactly.
or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Laura,
Okay. Uh-oh.
what kind of bourbon are you drinking?
Okay. I feel like I'll be embarrassed, but like, because I don't know a lot of like really good brands, I'll just be like,
It's okay.
Give me a bourbon. But I mean, Knob Creek is really good. Okay, so I used to
Knob Creek
work
Country.
for a summer. I worked in Grand Teton National Park, and I worked in a housekeeping crew at
Oh,
a
snap.
resort. And people would check out but leave their alcohol in there. And
Yeah,
one
yeah.
time I got like an unopened bottle of Knob Creek, and that was my first time to ever have it. But I was like, "Ooh, what a little treat!"
I love Knob. Knob
That's the
Creek
first
is
time I had Knob
genuinely
Creek.
one of my favorite bourbons of
Okay, good.
all time. Like,
Okay, good. I
Not,
know something.
not even joking.
Okay, good. Right on. What else should I try to find while I'm here today?
Ooh. I have to think real quick about all the places that are
I bet
here.
a lot. I know I've had Angel's Envy. It's really good.
Bullet?
Bullet's pretty good.
Okay. Yeah.
There is a tent for a brand called Penelope
Okay.
that is
Haven't heard of
quite
that.
good.
Okay.
Four Roses,
Yep.
definitely check out.
Okay.
I think I'm just going to wind up naming everything that's here. Rabbit Hole, I would definitely recommend.
Ooh.
Thanks for talking bourbon with me for a little bit as
Yeah.
well as music.
That's so cool.
Glad to. That's what I want to talk about here. Yeah.
Thunder and Rain, thank you all so much. This has been a
Thank
lot of
you.
fun.
Thank you so much for having us.
Of course, I hope you have a great rest of your festival.
Yes.
Where can people check you out as well on socials and
Yes, you
elsewhere?
can visit our website, thunderandrainmusic.com, for our show dates and information about us and to buy some of our merchandise if you want to.
There you go.
And we have Instagram, Thunder and Rain _band. We're on Facebook, YouTube, but make sure you type in Thunder and Rain Band or else you might get some meditation music, which is lovely while you're drinking your bourbon at night, but
Love
we want to wake your ass up.
You can also
I'd
listen to
recycle
bluegrass
that joke.
while you're, drinking bourbon.
Exactly.
So
And if
perfect.
any of your bourbon people want to sponsor us, I can become a bourbon person, okay? I just need the right brand to make me a bourbon girl. Let's
It's
go.
not difficult. It's
Yeah,
not difficult.
I don't think it will be very difficult.
All right. Cheers, y'all. Thank you so
Cheers.
much.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Trey Zoeller sitting with me on day 3 of This Is My Bourbon podcast. Trey, it is good to have you back on the show. I had you in, I want to say 2018. It might have been 2019. I don't remember. You were kind enough to welcome me into your home.
You know what? That's what bourbon's all about, right?
Yeah.
Sharing experiences, sharing your house, sharing whiskey.
It was
That's how you
it
get
was
to know
wonderful.
somebody.
It was wonderful, man. And here we are at a massive festival that has only grown and changed in unbelievable ways since it was first incepted. And Jefferson's as a brand and you as a brand owner have shifted and changed in so many ways since we last sat down too. Not just in the fact that you've introduced new products, but you've also lost the patriarch of Jefferson's as well earlier
Yeah,
this year.
absolutely.
And my condolences, of course.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was a massive loss to the bourbon industry. But I want to start by asking you, what has shifted for you as a role, somebody who has to take on different roles within the Jefferson's brand?
So really, it wasn't the loss of my father, which was huge because he was so instrumental, and I think everything that I've done with Jefferson's, because I was able to look at all the research and the history that he put together, and it's really looking historically back on how whiskey proliferated in Kentucky and how it evolved, that I was able to kind of put that into what we were doing to push whiskey in different directions. So what's really changed since we last sat down is that Pernod Ricard acquired us in 2020.
Right.
So it went, I have a much bigger pocketbook to spend from, which is awfully nice.
Right.
I've got to deal with corporate legal, which is
Less
not
nice.
so nice.
Yeah.
So you got the good and the bad, but it balances out. But it's a different role, and it allows me to a lot more freedom. When you don't have to sit over the details and worry about payroll and things of that nature, can really concentrate on what excites me and what I think I can do to make better whiskey.
Well, you were talking about earlier on the whiskey royalty panel, which, as we were walking over here too, you made the comment of, well, that's for somebody else to decide of whether or not you're worthy of whiskey royalty. And, I'm not even going to decide that for you because I'm a dumb guy with a podcast, right? But you created this product in honor of your grandmother, correct?
Correct.
Which might not have been able to happen without the freedom to just sit down and go, well, what can I do? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and when you said I created this product, he was referring to Marion McLean, and it was actually my 8th generation grandmother. And I'll tell you about that in just a second. But
yeah,
it was even my grandmother that was probably even more inspirational for me. I grew up in Kentucky, and I drank bourbon just like everyone else. And if you went into my grandmother's house, and my grandmother was, we used to call her kick-ass granny, redneck granny. She ran bowling alleys. She was the first president of the KBA, not the Kentucky Bourbon Association, rather the Kentucky Bowlers Association. Yeah. First woman president, that is. But when you went to her house, she didn't ask you what you want to drink. It's how do you take your bourbon.
Nice.
So, that was inspirational to me. Because being a Kentuckian, that's just what we did. It was moving outside of Kentucky to 6 different places. And I realized that people didn't drink bourbon. They didn't know bourbon. And that's when the idea of getting in the bourbon industry really started to percolate. But, to my dad being the historian, he was doing genealogy research. He found that my 8th generation grandmother, after her husband was killed during the Revolutionary War, turned to making whiskey to support her 5 kids and got arrested for that.
Right.
So that arrest record makes her the first documented woman in the American whiskey business, which is pretty cool. So we made a tribute brand to her. And it was really not only a tribute to her, but kind of a tribute to what we've been doing for the last 28 years, which is we started as blenders. And this is blending 5 very different bourbons together and trying to harmoniously make them work together, yet still showcasing each individual aspect of what that bourbon is, which is very difficult in blending.
Right.
And as we've done 40 different products, 37 of which we do more than distill it, age it, cut it to proof, and bottle it. So we're manipulating it in one shape or form, typically in the maturation process. And that's what's most interesting to me.
There's so much generational wealth in Jefferson's. Not necessarily from a monetary standpoint, but I mean, surely there is, but from a familial history, right? Your father created it. You've inherited the entire, brand. It's now something that you're in control of, right? Do you hope that the next generation of Zoellers are going to want to pursue making Jefferson's as lucrative and as successful as you and your father did too?
Well, I'd hope so. So actually, my dad and I started it together, and he was
Right.
on the brand
Apologies,
for about
sorry.
2-3 years before he went into a different direction. He helped me, especially on the legal side, and helped develop the brand and the formula and the name Jefferson was definitely. He was a big historian and
Yes.
very much looked up to them. But then he went in the direction of writing books and really digging into the history. And that's what really got him excited. But I've got 2 kids, one of which is named, I'm actually Chester the Third, which is an awful name. And I said, I'd never do that to my kid. But I think my dad and my grandfather, which such special people, I decided to go ahead and lay that moniker on my son. So I've got 20-year-old twins, Chet and Alex, my daughter, who I don't want to put any pressure on them, but would I
Sure.
like them to be in the business? Absolutely.
Of course.
It was the best thing that's come out of the 28 years of Jefferson's is the 27 years that my dad and I had the same passion. And we were able to travel all over the U.S., all over the world together. One of the last things that we did was travel to Singapore together. Actually, one of the very last things we did was get inducted to the Bourbon Hall of Fame together.
Right.
And to have those memories and to have that connection is better than anything else that I've done in bourbon. And if I would be lucky enough to have my kids to be able to join me in this pursuit, then it would be, not to put pressure on them, but maybe a dream come true.
We won't let them hear this
Right,
until they're,
right,
until they're ready, if they're ready at all.
Well,
of course.
I'll tell you, they are working on a product right now. As I said, they're 20 years old. They would like to be able to launch it when they're 21, which I think would be pretty damn cool.
That's really cool. I think, I don't know if you've told that to anybody yet, but
Yeah, I don't
we'll
know
try,
if I have.
We'll try to keep that. Might be an exclusive, but that's pretty exciting for sure. So let's talk about the makeup of the bourbon that you have here as well. It's 102 proof, I can see. But I also know that there's quite a bit of blending that went into it with different finishings, right?
Correct.
As well.
Correct. So I'm not sure if this is version 1 or 2, which have come out 2 years after each other. And the goal is to release this every other year. So, again, 5 different components. In the first one, I'll tell you what was in the first one. This may or may not be it as I look at it. But we had a base of a 13-year-old, very unique minty bourbon that really had a dominant flavor.
Right.
To kind of counterbalance that, next bourbon that I wanted to put in there is one of my favorites, which is our Jefferson's Old Rum Cask Finish, which finished in Old Gosling's Family Reserve rum barrels, which held bourbon for 4 years and rum for 20 years. I wanted to put our base of Jefferson's Reserve as a 12-year-old in there as well. And to get a little bit more mouthfeel still, I took a 10-year-old that was distilled in a pot still. So you gave it a great oily, heavy finish. And then to bring out some sweetness in it, I double-barreled a wheated bourbon. The first barreling was at 125 proof, second was at 86 proof. And
Wow.
it just screamed with this cinnamon toast crunch flavor.
Yeah.
That really comes out and is apparent in that whiskey. And I think they really come together extremely well. And I think we achieved our goal, which was to make the whole better than the parts.
Right. What's interesting to me about this too, I mean, what somebody might not have picked up on is that this sounds like it's a technically 4-grain bourbon.
Technically,
Too.
it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a 4-grain. You got it.
So is that something that just kind of happened along the way?
It is.
Essentially.
It didn't set out to be a 4-grain. You'll see some more about that and some releases that we have coming up.
Interesting.
And, to me, I sat in a podcast not too long ago and it was called the OG of blenders. We've been blending for 25 years.
Right.
It wasn't sexy to talk about blending back then. People associated it with blended Scotch whiskey. I think now people certainly understand the art of the blend and it's something that we should have been beating our chest about for a long time, but we haven't.
Right.
So with our recent release of our Jefferson's Mary and McLean and our new Jefferson's Triple Rye, we're really putting in some great products, great whiskey together that really comes around.
I want to turn to as well a product that I have been a big fan of that is not on the table, but really I think showcases what you all do extremely well as blenders, and that's the limited cast strength that's just come out, the 130 proof.
The 130, that's pretty unique, and I'll tell you, it was almost an accident. So we use our Jefferson's 8-year-old base, so that's the base of a blend of 4 different products. It's about 65-70% of the total.
Gotcha.
And our Jefferson's Ocean and our Jefferson's Pritchard Hill, Twin Oak, that's what I use, and then finish it one way or the other. So we dumped those barrels, put it in the tank, and it sat there for, I think, 3 years. And just from timing on releasing things, we kept pushing it off. And most people don't think that much happens once you dump it out of the barrel. And I was one of those people.
Right.
But the whiskey that came out of that is considerably different than the whiskey that we dumped initially.
Absolutely.
And it really allowed the molecules to come together in a way that was very unique. And the tasting note that I get most out of that product, which 8-year-old 130 proof, I would have never guessed, is creamy.
For sure.
It's creamy.
Absolutely.
Screams with cherry, cola. It's like a creamy cherry Coke. It's
definitely
delicious. I got into it after a fishing trip to Wyoming a couple weeks ago. And I'd had a glass or two here. And I got into it for the first time after being on the water for 7 hours. I was reminded it was 130 proof. Because it doesn't drink like 130 proof.
It absolutely does not. And I'll be honest with you. I really hope that it's not just a limited release. I hope that we see a bit more of it in the future.
You got it. I think with the success of it, we'll do it again, but it's going to take a little while.
Sure. Understandable.
Yeah,
for sure.
We don't have them sitting in tankers.
Trey, I will let you go. Thank you so much for sitting down with me. This has been a lot of fun.
I appreciate it. Let's do it again. Let's not wait 6 years to do it. Or
definitely not. Cheers, Trey. Thank you.
Take care.
Folks, I got to be honest with you. I'm way too excited to be sitting down with Gooseberry. This is a genuine feeling that I'm having.
Well, thank you.
Because
usually we inspire very different feelings than that one. But
what, animosity?
Yeah, well, curiosity sometimes.
Okay,
animosity sometimes.
Sure. Well, I've got Asa and Will. Guys, first of all, thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Thanks for having us.
Y'all already played today.
Yes.
I unfortunately missed it because I've been running around it's been an insane day.
We forgive you. We do not. We will hold that against you.
Okay, well,
until the end of time.
Well, here's the deal. I will make it up to you by inviting you to my house or something and pouring you bourbon.
Will there be bourbon?
Next time
yes,
we're
there
on
will definitely be
tour,
bourbon. Yeah,
we can crash with you.
Yes,
on your couch.
please do. You will have to endure my 2 small children, but
more the merrier. Yeah. Hope there's a few more by the time we get there.
We'll watch. No, there will not be. We'll just watch Bluey constantly.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because
I'm speaking my language now. I didn't realize we were getting crazy on this tour.
First of all, I have to ask, how was your all set today?
I think it was pretty freaking good. I don't know if I can curse on this podcast.
Jesus.
Wow. Way to tone it down for the listening audience there, Will.
I think it was really good. I had a good time.
I vacillate from thinking we're the greatest band in the world to being absolutely sure that everything we do fucking sucks. So somewhere on that scale, I think this set fell.
Well, so I had not heard of you guys leading up to Bourbon and Beyond. And I always go through this phase of I'm going to listen to these bands and, they put out the official Bourbon and Beyond playlist.
Yeah.
And then it hit Gooseberry. I was like, these guys are really, really sick.
Thank you.
started like grooving and just getting into this like super heavy pocket feel where I was like, every now and then I hear a band where I'm like, why have I not heard of you all before? Or like, why have I not been able to find this part of like my brain that needed to be scratched before? And you all kind of fell into that for me.
We're the back scratcher of brands. You know, we just reach all those hard to reach places.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
And
TM trademark.
Yeah, that's the tagline.
Back scratcher band.
Tagline for your next album.
Yeah. Might just call it the Back Scratcher album.
But you have such a unique like middle ground between like you hit this like kind of R&B, this like soul, little bit of like kind of jam bandy music too, but not really going so far into it that you're like losing people.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's more like alt rocky forward kind of stuff. But I think that especially on our debut album that we put out last year, I think it spans a lot of different genres where you can have one song be like a grungy song, another song be like a slow plotting shoegazy thing, another one be like a more jammy kind of
right.
Even like we've done like a Beatlesy style ballad or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I think we have a lot of different influences as a band, and the more we play together, the more those influences all kind of like combine to create something that is, uniquely us.
Hope so.
But you can still hear, if you really listen, you can still pick out all the different little things that are being put into it.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing too about songwriting is trying to like elevate and articulate a bunch of those different little parts of your influences too. Like I grew up being like a Stevie Ray Vaughan guitar player.
Love Stevie Ray Vaughan.
You know?
Big influence.
But yeah, and then, listening more and more to like people like Amos Lee.
Also very cool.
It was like, well, how do I square those circles?
Yeah. Amos is great. I've seen him a few times. Beautiful voice.
I'm trying to get him on the podcast.
Yeah.
He's
friends of mine have a band called Balin.
Called what?
Called Balin.
Okay.
Balin. And they did a song with Amos Lee.
Really?
Which is one of the many reasons I envy them.
Yeah.
As people and musicians.
So talk to about, and this has been a fun point of interest for me with talking with artists this weekend. Talk a little bit about trying to put your best foot forward with your set list at something like Bourbon and Beyond, because you only got 30 minutes or so, right? How do you put those tunes out for people to really make sure that they're listening to the best that you have?
We play a different set every night.
That's what I was going to say.
I think is like the most important thing. So
beautiful.
I think there is like that jam ethos of wanting every night to be unique. So like, it's not like we had, the same set that we were drilling the last 2 weeks to then be able to do this.
Right.
And so when I think about like introducing ourselves to a brand new audience, particularly a large audience like this festival, there are some songs I know we're going to play. Like we had, like from the last album, some of our bigger songs are like Kiki On, Dying to Meet You. Like I know we're going to play those because like people know them. We just played and people were singing them in the crowd, and that's awesome. But like at the same time, I do want to ensure that we're playing stuff that we think feels fresh and feels good.
Yeah.
And that we're introducing them to. So it's not just they're going to get like, they're not just getting the hits.
Yeah.
If we have those.
It keeps the audience on their toes. Like if people come to see us a lot, they're always going to get something new. But also like it keeps us on our toes.
Yeah.
Because there's always one song in this set that you're like, oh shit, we haven't played that in like a month. And now we're going to, even though we've been playing shows the entire time, we just haven't hit that song yet. And now it's tonight and you kind of have to like go for it. And that makes everything exciting. And
Right.
Yeah. Makes it fresh for both the audience and for us.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if we've actually answered your question, but the way that I think about this set for a festival like this is you only got 30 minutes. It's going to be upbeat and loud, which is what we do well. It's going to have some of the stuff that makes you dance, and have some of the stuff that makes you just kind of rock your head back and forth.
Right.
And it's hopefully going to showcase the range of musicality that we have, even though there's only 3 of us up there on stage, no tracks or anything. It's just some dudes playing some songs.
And it's going to make people want to listen to your music after they leave, too.
I hope so. I hope that they got something out of it. We obviously have had an amazing experience thus far, so we're having a good time, and I hope that translates to them.
Are you looking to drink bourbon afterwards, too?
Absolutely. I am. Yeah. Yes. Short answer, yes.
Asa is. Will, how are you feeling about that?
I'll drink some bourbon. I definitely don't drink as much bourbon as Asa does. I don't know what the difference is between like bourbon and other brown liquors.
Okay.
There's maybe your
Here we go.
Yeah. Maybe this is the educational part of the podcast.
We're getting ready. We're getting ready.
Asa sometimes shows me different bourbons, and I like them a lot.
Yeah.
I was with, because I came yesterday ahead of time to try and like scope out the festival, just because this thing is so large and unwieldy. I was terrified that like we'd get here and I'd have no idea what was going on. So I got here yesterday, and Danny Wimmer was kind enough to have us in his little like backyard area. Yeah. So I was chatting with him a bit, and I assume this will come out after this has happened. But my goal is for later today. I got him to promise that he would share with me a special small batch whiskey that he's kept on the grounds in a barrel that was started the first year of the festival. So that's the goal for tonight.
Mythical.
I am also curious about this, but I don't want to.
We'll do a follow-up pod.
Yeah. You're more than welcome to come back on the show later again. We can actually
be wobbling my way over.
Yeah, right. Guys, thank you so much for sitting down for a little bit. It's been a lot of fun, just genuinely to meet you. And I hope that more people follow up with you guys. Social media. Where can people find you?
Gooseberry Band. That's typically the best spot for Instagram and all the others.
Easy.
We're somewhere.
Somewhere along the way.
Gooseberry's a bit of an odd name, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
easy to find. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Good to be
Cheers.
here.
Still hanging out here. Day 3, Bourbon and Beyond. Britt Taylor, Adam Chaffins. This is my Bourbon Podcast. Thank you all so much for sitting down with me. I want to hit on something real quick that I noticed while I was doing research. You're from Hindman, Kentucky.
Yeah.
My old co-host is from Hindman, Kentucky.
Wait, who's your who?
His name is Eric Smith.
Wait, okay. I'm pretty sure I know Eric Smith. Now I need to see a picture.
I will show you a picture.
Are there like 4 Eric Smiths?
I know that it's a pretty generic name, but I just...
But was he a Knott County Central feller or a June Buchanan? I don't know if I know Eric Smith or not. And it's been a while.
I mean, that's what he looks like,
in Knott County.
Now.
Well, that is wild.
Yeah. So we used to do a live show for the podcast in Lexington at a Clarion hotel. They had, ballroom and everything. And the first year that we did it was over Memorial Day weekend. And then the ballroom right next to us was the Hindman, Kentucky, city reunion.
That is so funny.
Not like
the whole town.
The whole town, not like a high school, like the whole town. And Eric and his wife were like, they know Gran, like his grandmother, and went up, started talking to him and everything. And sure enough, I mean, just the funniest, smallest world.
It's funny that they had to go all the way to Lexington.
I know, it's crazy, right?
To have a group function.
Wow. Anyway, had to just touch on that for a second. But first of all, thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Of course, you're from Kentucky. It's good to have Kentucky representation at Bourbon and Beyond. I've talked to some other Kentucky folks here on the podcast this weekend, but I always like to ask what it means to actually, bring Kentuckians to the Bourbon and Beyond stage for the festival and play your own music here.
Yeah, I mean, Bourbon and Beyond is such a huge festival and such a bucket list festival for any artist. But for somebody from Kentucky, it's a really big bucket list festival. And this year, it's been extra special for me because I am pregnant.
Yes.
I'm almost 8 months pregnant and feeling my little baby kick in my belly against my guitar while I'm playing like the coolest festival ever. It just feels like the most outlaw thing that I could possibly do as a woman. And I got my husband on stage with me too. So it's really special.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just surreal. Things
Weird,
you would
wild.
never. You can, hope cool things happen, but I don't know. Just, really unique moments.
I mean, a lot of people, their baby goes to Disney World while they're still in, their mama's belly.
Or
and
the
they're,
beach,
the
yeah.
beach, yeah, exactly. But, getting up on stage in front of thousands of people and having their mama play, songs that they wrote is really, really cool.
It's wild. I said she's going to come out singing Fishing in the Dark because we've been on tour with Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, like
She's
in
heard
the
some
main
epic,
beginning in the summer.
some epic people through
Yeah.
Monitor Wedge, that is for sure. She's had much more musical diversity and experience than either of us did before she was born, like
Yeah.
our combined childhood, I would say.
She's already sang Will the Circle Be Unbroken with Jeff Hanna.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? She's going to come out singing Fishing in the Dark.
I grew up in a pretty musical family, wrote my own music, play music as well, but there was never really like any pressure to become musical, I guess. Like I just went, I think I want to start playing guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hope that your daughter takes up any kind of instrument eventually, or is that something that, you're just going to kind of let happen on her own?
Just let that happen. You know, I want her to be her own person. And I feel like the more things that you force on a kid is the more they won't want to do it. So if that's part of the path that she's meant to walk when she gets here, awesome. I hope that it is, I think that'd be beautiful and lovely. And we have our favorite co-writers, Adam Wright and Shannon Wright. They have two little boys that are just insanely musically talented. And I'm like, oh man, that's going to be, I hope that's our fan. Like, that's so cool. But if it's not, maybe she wants to dance or draw or be a vet. I don't know. Like, whatever she wants to do or whatever she's here to do, I'm here for it.
I guess it'll obviously be her, individual decision. I think selfishly, neither of us really grew up with musical families.
Yeah.
So, like, there was no real sitting around and picking songs or anything. It's like the stuff we had to go elsewhere to learn and do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, selfishly, it would be cool to have that kind of, family element.
Yeah.
But she'll at least have a good musical education by
Yeah.
association and just from our record collection.
Yeah.
I've got two little kids too. I've got a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Oh,
wow. It's hectic,
I bet.
but it is fun to just sit around and pick and watch them kind of light up. And my 5-year-old's at the point too where she's like, I want to learn to play, and because daddy plays guitar.
Awesome.
And it is a pretty natural thing. So if you do have a musical household, very likely it's gonna it's gonna come about naturally. But I want to move on to talking about, Britt, your musical style and talking about the tunes that you were performing today as well, because while you might not have been playing some of the more like raw or like emotional songs that people can find at like the top of the YouTube search algorithm, right? That might be what some people connect with the most, right? How would you describe your genre or your musical style for people first and foremost?
Oh my gosh. I feel like that's such a hard question to answer because there's so many. It's like the writing style, the sound, to me, I just think it's very Appalachia. There's a lot of bluegrass influence in the country music that I like and that I make. On top of the songwriting, there's just a lot of storytelling, and I feel like Appalachia is very storyteller based. And I just write about the things that I love and the things that I know and the things that I see on a daily basis and that I've grown up watching. So yeah, it's just Appalachian storytelling in a modern country way.
Yeah. I was recently talking with a friend on the podcast about the need to elevate more Appalachian voices too. And we'll talk about like the bourbon side of that in a second as well, because we actually were talking about bourbon before we hit the record button.
Yeah.
How do you feel like you can help, and not just, through like say advocacy, but through your music as well, whether it's, your presence or actual, storytelling through your music? What is it about, what you do that separates you from other Appalachian artists that helps to advocate for Appalachians?
Yeah, well, I think that is the one thing that is so cool about Appalachian artists, and one thing that it makes it really hard to brand Appalachian music is that we all sound so different from each other.
Yeah.
Like Sturgill and Tyler sound nothing alike, sound nothing like Chris Stapleton. Chris sounds nothing like Dwight Yoakam.
Yeah.
And so it's a bunch of artists that are just being very, very, very authentic, that aren't chasing the thing that everybody's chasing for success. They're just kind of doing what's in their heart and souls. And that's what I'm trying to do. And that's what I hope that I inspire other artists to do, just to stop chasing and to start being just exactly who they are.
Right.
And I've been so lucky to be supported by Sturgill Simpson making my record. And I really hope that that's something that I can do for other Appalachian artists in the future. Just give them a leg up and a hand up and support them and champion them.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. It seems like that's kind of the same situation with most bourbon makers in Kentucky. It's like the same point of pride. It's like copycatting is not an option.
No.
It's like you're going to have to prove it, and you're going to have to earn it, and you're going to have to
Definitely.
make something amazing and something that people want. And I think there's a lot of similarities kind of with everything Kentucky,
Yeah. Because we're all stubborn as
We're all
mules.
pretty, yeah. We went generations of people who went through a lot, and a lot of tradition in this state, and a lot of, I feel like every artist from Appalachia who's done whatever in country, there's that common theme of the hillbilliness. Even with Dwight, Dwight is so connected to California music, but like I can hear Pike County and everything he does.
Yeah, that's Hollywood hillbilly is all that is.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I think what's interesting about, and a big point of conversation that we got into about like bourbon making or the bourbon industry too was like, trying to elevate communities or trying to elevate people in the industry through like, unionizing or whatever, but also just trying to realize that the people who are creating bourbon are the actual people. It's not always just like going and pressing a button and, like they're cleaning stills, they're actually operating the bottling line, they're tasting everything to make sure that what goes into the bottle is of the utmost quality too, right? And I mean, like, we've never met each other before, but we sat down and we had an immediate connection over whiskey, which is great, whether that's because we're Kentuckians or not. And,
Probably, but, or not.
Yes, and.
Yeah. Well, bourbon is a craft, much like songwriting or recording a song. You have all these parts and pieces and that go with it to make the finished product. Yeah.
And it's something that I think we need to try to emphasize a lot more too, that, it's not just the master distillers. It's not just, the people who hundreds of years ago, built these recipes or whatever. You know, there's still people today trying to make it for us.
Oh yeah, and it's the same thing. I mean, the age and the maturity of the bourbon is like the whole shtick of it, you know.
Right.
And it's the same thing with music. It just takes a while to.
Yeah.
All good things have been kind of refined and aged before released, and our favorite things are all things that were refined and aged and seasoned well before consumption.
There was some distillery, some brand that was using the tagline like honoring tradition, embracing the future or something like that, and I feel like that's just what music is about right now too, especially in like the country field or like the bluegrass field. Like, even though I was talking with Thunder and Rain earlier, who really, you know, are honoring a lot of just traditional bluegrass music, but that's not, you know, negating what like newgrass is now, like the Billy Strings of the world, or, you know, that kind of genre, because you can have both. I mean, that's why we have different mash bills of bourbon. That's why we have different proofs and different, you know, finishing processes and everything too. Like you know, we can do all things and elevate.
The funny thing about bluegrass to me always is that it's like seen as this ancient, old-timey thing, but bluegrass and specifically is not that old.
Right.
Like, it goes back with rock and roll and just like any recorded music and jazz. It's the same. You know, it kind of just came from this thing and then kept going. And I mean, like, newgrass was a phrase in the late 70s, 80s, and like whatever it is now is beyond newgrass. It's a different connection that all has the same resonance and the same thing that Bill Monroe put together forever ago.
Yeah.
It's easy for things to just take a life of their own too.
I think they should.
Yeah. Oh,
you know?
absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah. Anyway,
this
has been a fun little conversation. I'm just glad to have you all sit down for a bit.
For having us.
Thanks for having us.
I hope it's been a nice, you know, kind of mental break from thinking about being pregnant too for a little bit. But Adam, you also have an album out right now too. I want to ask you both where people can find your all's music, where they can find you on social media, all that good stuff, all the nitty gritty of it.
Well, I'll say you can find Britt Taylor at BrittTaylor.com.
Britt Taylor Music.
BrittTaylorMusic.com. I screwed up the plug.
I missed out on the Britt Taylor.
You can find Britt Taylor's music everywhere.
Yeah. Spotify, Apple, all the things. At Britt Taylor Music on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And on all those things, you can probably find Adam Chaffins too.
If you find one of us, you look a little bit, you'll find the other one.
Wait, do you have Adam Chaffins Music or Adam Chaffins?
No, I'm just Adam Chaffins. I got in there quick.
You got,
There's not a lot of other Adam Chaffins out there putting out music, turns out. I might have the market on that.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you all so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks
Cheers.
for having us.
Fourth and final day of Bourbon and Beyond. I am very happy to be sitting down with Bourbon Revival. They are a string band quartet that won the Battle of the Strings Band competition. Got him a spot on the 2025 lineup here at the festival. According to the write-up that I was given before you guys sat down with me, it says that you blend traditional bluegrass with rock, pop, and country music, performing under their motto, plugged in vibes, unplugged sound, 100 proof, excuse me. Guys, it's very good to have you here on the show.
Great to be here, man.
Yeah,
Great.
absolutely. First of all, you're local, right?
Yeah, we're based out of Louisville.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm from Lexington, so we're all pretty close and everything. But it's important to me, first and foremost, that we talk about the name Bourbon Revival.
All right.
You want to explain that one?
That would be Matt.
Yeah.
So how that started, back when the band was formed, we didn't have a name, so we actually went to a local pizza establishment, Tony Boombah's.
Okay.
And we sat down and we wrote down a bunch of names, and we actually just like handed this list to one of the waitresses, and said, "Can you go around and run a poll?" And that was the name that was the most voted for.
That is
That's
so
how we did it.
funny. I love that. So somewhat original, but also just kind of like left it up to
we had
fate.
so many that were good. We're like, well, I don't know, So
I love that. I love that, man. So.
And we're going to keep those other band names in our back pocket just in case.
Just in case something happens one day. Yeah. So how did you all kind of catch wind of the competition, the string band competition?
We actually were looking at doing it last year, but we had a couple gig conflicts with the dates that the contest was taking place.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so this year we kind of, in May, was talking about it as a band, and we're like, I don't care what we're doing, we're going to make those 2 gigs.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we submitted the video, and then ended up going to the Fox Den here in Louisville and playing two
Nice.
days, and just
Yeah,
whirlwind, and now we're here.
It worked out. Last year when I came to the festival, I saw the winning band play, and I regretted not entering the contest.
Right.
I was like, dude, this is so cool. I didn't think we'd win, but I still had a lot of high hopes. I mean, honestly, I'm trying to be humble.
Of course.
Because it's overwhelming, really. But we all believed in ourselves. And
Absolutely.
We decided this year we're going to do it regardless, and we're glad we did.
Yeah.
Here we are.
When you say the video, did you have to compile something different? Did you have to record a brand new video, or did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
They wanted like a 4-minute video of the band just playing stuff, so we just like cut up we recorded at a show in Cincinnati.
Gotcha.
And then just cut up 4 minutes, 4 hours into 4 minutes was pretty difficult, but
Yeah.
And we were worried. We were stressed. We were like, are they going to accept it? Is it
Yeah.
going to be good enough?
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
For sure.
So-
It was all of our worst material all at once.
Well, a funny story about the contest is on the second day, they kind of like, after the first day, they kind of like told us, like, we love, because we do a lot of the covers, rock and pop covers. They're like, hey, you need to find something, unknown or original, and you guys it's going to be good. And so Nate ended up writing a song, and me and him worked together and actually wrote a song for the second day of the contest. And,
Nice.
it's actually going to be coming out in the next week or two
Very
on
nice.
Spotify and everything. It's called Bourbon Beyond, My Blues Away. Yeah. So
I love it.
We're playing it almost for the first time tonight. We've been playing it around the past couple weeks, but it's going to be.
Yeah, we're excited.
We're excited about it. Our first original as a band.
That's super cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was going to ask about, trying to make a name for yourselves by focusing not solely on covers, but
Yeah.
like putting spins on covers, through like a bluegrass style.
Right.
That's a kind of a difficult thing to do in today's music landscape.
Right.
A lot of bands have already done that, so to speak. A lot of our heroes, like Sam Bush and Tony Rice and all them back in the day, they all done that. Like,
Right.
But the idea wasn't to like turn it into a bluegrass song, but honor those rhythm aspects and those musical things that are going on that are so magical in those songs. So we can kind of like, how can we do that with these instruments, even though we're going to be challenged? Right?
Yeah.
But looking past that veil of challenge and just saying like, hey, we can do this, and let's see how original we can make it in our own way by still honoring them too. And what I've learned with me is like my singing's gotten better, my playing's gotten better. Lots of good things have come from that approach. So
It's opened a lot of rhythmic doors for sure.
yeah,
Definitely.
It's a lot more than just the standard bluegrass 2-beat.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we don't want to let go of our heritage and our roots of bluegrass music, but because we can always dive into that. But the idea is like, how long can we go before we like,
Right.
Well, I found
that.
at our shows when we play the covers, it gets people locked into us. But then we'll play like a traditional bluegrass song, and people go crazy over that.
For sure.
And so it's like it's almost like doing a service to those traditional ones and being like,
Right.
just showing people what that's
Absolutely.
all about.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
Matt, Cody, myself, we're all real steeped into bluegrass music, traditional guys. Jeff here, on the other hand, he is the rock guy of the group.
Yeah, he's legit.
He's
rock
the one.
guy.
He's the guy. If you ask him to hum a song, he can do it for you. Any rock
He's
song.
a phonograph man.
We played Jeff
Trying to keep
karaoke
these guys
before,
in
where you just name a song, he'll play it on a guitar.
It's hard being Jeff, isn't it?
That's right. That's right.
That's what happens when you're the bass player sometimes.
Right.
Well, he's a former drummer too, so it helps us to have him in our pocket because
He keeps us in the pocket.
Yeah, he dials us in
There
like,
you
hey,
go.
guys, this is how this goes. You know, this is a little too fast. It's a little too slow. Or this is that part that you may not be listening. It's there, but it may not have caught your attention, but it's there, you know.
Right.
And it's so cool when his mind unfolds like that. It's like, oh, like, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to keep them in their pocket tonight.
Whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
I'm going to be louder than they are, so they got to follow me.
I was talking yesterday with another bluegrass band about, even though like bluegrass can sound, and this is not a knock on the genre itself, but like it is a very familiar genre, right? It can sound to some people repetitive. I don't think that's true. I think it gives, freedom when you are interpreting songs from other genres, because when you strip it of something like a drum kit, you're trying to replace the rhythm section with other instruments as well.
Right. And that's the challenge.
Right. Yeah.
So we always call Nate here is our mandolin player. We call him Mr. Snare Drum most of the time. He's
Absolutely.
Just, all
Whack.
he is snare drum. Just whack, whack,
So,
whack.
so you got the really strong forearms.
Yes.
Oh, wait till he plays tremolo. It's all day. It's all day.
I love it.
Every music's got its formula, So
Absolutely.
bluegrass has got, you kick off your verse, chorus, instrumentation in between.
Right.
Your popular music, they just add a bridge.
Yeah.
And then there you got it.
Right.
So we just try to use those formulas from these other songs with our instruments.
Yeah.
Kind of, especially when we're writing our own songs, it's not the bluegrass formula.
Right.
But it's a bluegrass tempo.
Exactly.
With the bluegrass kind of words and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, a bluegrass feel for sure, but adding that like a bridge in there or something to throw you off a little bit and come back into it, I think it's important. Those songs sell like that for a reason,
Sell is a fun word to throw in there.
Well, it's
For
easy
sure.
listening. How's that? It's easy to listen to that.
Right. Well, okay. Let's touch on that for a second too, because yes, there is some like pomp and circumstance around you guys having won this competition, but you're still relatively unknown. Coming to Bourbon and Beyond, you have to do something pretty spectacular in terms of selling yourselves in a 30-minute set, right? So what are you all doing with your 4:00 show today to sell yourselves to an audience that probably doesn't know you all that well?
We were thinking of just some spoken poetry would be.
Were you going to be in like
For the whole half
the,
hour
the,
would be good.
the Borat
Bluegrass
swimsuit
lyrics and
too?
poetry.
or-
Tell no one to clap. Everyone
Yeah.
just snaps.
Yeah,
out there,
that's cool. Yeah, awesome.
Now,
That's going to go over super well at a bourbon festival where it's 95 degrees.
We
and
spent the past couple of weeks trying to narrow down because we've got, we're used to playing 4-hour-long gigs.
Right,
and
yeah.
just trying to find all the gems to play with that 30-minute set.
Yeah.
And we timed it out, and we have to literally like one song right after another and that's what we're going to try to do: keep the energy up and really feed off of this opportunity to play in front of this many people and really like.
And we want to deliver
put it
like
all out there.
what we're being known for or trying to become known for, and also give a little bit of that bluegrass too. You know, like really go hardcore on some grass. Those some of the songs that we've converted that people like, that we've already, some of our songs we've put out for download if you get a chance, and then an original. We're going to throw an original.
Yeah,
in there
we're going to
too,
play ours to close out the show, and we're excited to see how the crowd reacts to our new
love
song.
that.
So
No spoilers.
Yeah.
no spoilers.
Jeff, thoughts?
I'm just glad to be a part of it. It's I love all the microphones. I want all the microphones.
He wanted all the microphones.
All the microphones.
I think
Jeff's just happy to
great-
be here.
This band has a lot of potential, and I think it's an avenue that like you said, there's not everybody goes down, but I think it's going to be really exciting to see what we come up with. In the next, the next recording session or the
Definitely.
Next, throughout the next couple of years.
Yeah,
I
that's
think we're
that's
really
what's most exciting for me is what's going to happen after this. Is,
Sure.
Hopefully this kind of will trampoline us to the next level.
Well, guys, it's crazy how fast 2 hours flies by.
I know, right?
And,
It just feels like it's been 15 minutes.
World's fastest podcast.
Yeah.
Play it on 2 times speed.
Where can people find you all? Social media. Where
What's
can
our
they find
website?
your music and everything?
BourbonRevivalBand.com.
Perfect. And I'm sure
Gotta
they can find
repeat
all
that
the
multiple times.
Yeah.
BourbonRevivalBand.com. BourbonRevivalBand.com. BourbonRevivalBand.com.
No, there
we
you can
go.
see. We've updated our site. We've got some photos of us on there. We've got
New merch.
access to merch and
Sweet.
downloads for our material that we've recorded and put out,
And our tour schedule.
And our tour
Awesome.
schedule.
And of course, you can get to all the socials from there.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well,
Cool, man.
drink some bourbon, listen to Bourbon Revival. Hope you guys have a great show today.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you so
Thanks for
much.
being here.
It's been a
Appreciate
blast.
you all.
It's been a real honor.
Take care. This is an absolute treat. This is an interview I've been waiting for genuinely the entire weekend. The Gin Blossoms, sitting down with a band that I've been listening to since I was growing up in the 90s. I'm not trying to make you guys feel old. I apologize, but it is an absolute pleasure to have you all sitting down with me this afternoon.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
and
you all
And you
as
can
well.
compliment us all you want. Go for it.
Well, I'll talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, first of all. The first time I got to see you guys was in Lexington, Kentucky, which is where I'm from, at the Christ the King Oktoberfest a couple years ago, which was kind of a whirlwind of an experience because it didn't feel like a Gin Blossoms show so much as it was you guys just happened to be there performing for...
That's likely.
Performing for Lexington, Kentucky. How do you all insert yourselves into those kinds of situations that are festivals, that are, something like an Oktoberfest where people might not even really be there to see you or might not even know who you are, but they might have heard your
they
songs.
Don't.
Yeah.
Other than you. Nobody has an idea.
What was the festival?
It was the Christ the King Oktoberfest.
What does that mean? So
It
was
was
an Oktoberfest?
It was an Oktoberfest put on by a Catholic church.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
I
Do
don't
you?
remember that.
Huh.
We would probably take a Eucharist and try and play the Catholic thing out.
That's fair. Yeah. But I mean, I'm not Catholic either, so it doesn't particularly matter.
Speaking as the only Catholic at the table, I think we would just have a good time.
I think that's appropriate.
I think we had a good
right?
time.
Yeah. It was a great show.
Was it at a school?
Yes.
Okay.
It was basically.
Yeah. I know. I remember now.
It was in a park. It was in a parking lot.
Yeah, it was a parking lot of a school, and I think we were in our dressing room was in the library.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a major change from Rupp Arena or.
But you'd be surprised. It happens all the time. Yeah.
When you all have been around for as long as you have, coming back to like a festival setting like this and seeing people screaming the words of your songs that have been around for 30 years, does it still hit home as hard as it did when those songs were first out?
It's different, It's not the same as when you're young. It's a real appreciation still, but it doesn't get old. It feels really valuable.
Sure. It's very nostalgic for me too. Just, being able to hear that music and know that it's still being played by the guys, that they're still around and
it amazes us too. It is, like Jesse says, it has value. It's really special. It's so rare that a band can stay together.
Right.
And, for us, we're just kind of, in some ways on autopilot. We know the songs. We get up there. We try to make sure that everybody's in a decent mood. Everybody's equipment is working right. And we just plug in and play. We don't really overthink it.
When it first happens, it's surprising.
Right. But it's not as... Is it not as noteworthy these days?
No, it's maybe more.
Yeah.
in some ways, I mean, we're so grateful to still be able to do it. But there's nothing like the first time you come through a town with a hit record,
right?
And you've never been there before, and the club is packed, and your song is on the radio, and people don't even know what you look like,
right?
And you get up on stage, and they're they're curious. You know, how are they going to move? What are they going to sound like live? Who the hell are they? You know, there's nothing like that moment. But you know, as a veteran group, we're just, you know, glad we can still keep doing this and that people care enough to come.
I care that you guys sat down with me for a few minutes. I genuinely do. This is.
I have a question.
Absolutely.
What's the whiskey angle of your? Is your podcast about whiskey?
It is typically about whiskey.
Let's talk about whiskey.
You want to talk about whiskey?
Yes,
Okay, sure. Well, it is called This Is My Bourbon Podcast. When I come to festivals, I talk about music, you know. But sure.
So you're a whiskey aficionado?
I am, yes.
So what's a good whiskey that's not too expensive right now?
An
up-and-comer.
It's okay. It's not an up-and-comer necessarily, but Wild Turkey put out an 8-year 101 bourbon this year that is incredible. The youngest member of their master distilling team, Bruce Russell, you
have deep knowledge of that.
Went to his dad and his grandfather, who are still master distillers there, and said he wanted to revive this 8-year 101 product for the American market. Okay. It's been an international product for a long time. It's $45 a bottle.
Oh, okay.
It's incredible.
Wild Turkey 8-year 101.
Yes.
That sounds pretty good.
It's phenomenal.
And I have another question.
Sure.
So the bourbon at Costco?
Yes.
Yay or nay?
It's fine.
It's fine. Okay. That speaks volumes.
Don't go out of your way to get that because it's produced by the same people that make 1792. Okay. It's the same distillery.
Okay.
So and I think it's actually a little more expensive too at Costco than it is to get 1792 small batch. Yes.
And then my last question.
Sure.
Because I love Colonel Taylor so much.
I love Taylor.
It's fantastic.
Yes.
Right? It's very difficult to get out west.
It's difficult to get out here too.
Oh, it is?
It is. A lot of people think that you get to come to Kentucky and just buy every rare bourbon that you can think of.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a desert out here too.
Okay.
Unfortunately. And a lot of that reasoning is behind the distributor, the 3-tier system. Unfortunately, you know, they're trying to send it out to other places so that they'll come here in hopes of getting it.
Okay.
And then it becomes a tourist trap.
It's delicious. It's my favorite.
It's incredible. It's one of my favorites as well. But anyway, we are at time. I don't want to take any more of your all's. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank
this
you
has
very
been
much.
an absolute pleasure. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Cheers. I got Axel and Lolo on now.
Hello.
Thank you all so much for being here. I was doing my natural research, checking out your all's music before having you all on. And
Thank you.
Oh, of course, yes. And I just so easily fell into the comfort of 2 acoustic guitars, harmonies that are so beautifully layered, and
getting that vibe of like more people need to hear you all.
Oh,
so
thank you.
Let me start out by saying, if you have not heard Axel and Lolo, please go and listen to them, because oh my goodness, I absolutely adore what you all are doing.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Thank
you. Thank you for listening.
It is, of course, and it is like, I'm from Kentucky. Bourbon Beyond is such a massively important festival to me. And so I try to say, like, you know, when people come to this festival, you know, I want to make sure that they are celebrated and that you all are, you know, welcomed as well. So first of all, welcome to Kentucky.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
What does it mean to you guys being here at Bourbon and Beyond?
Oh, we're so happy and excited to.
I mean,
all our
crazy.
songs. All our songs are like, we try to write to, I don't know, to help people through the messages that have helped us.
Sure.
You know?
They're very therapeutic for us, and in
Yeah.
turn, we hope they are for our listeners.
Yeah.
And we definitely write music to help us get through something, whatever that is, whether it's personal or the world or whatever.
Right.
So it feels good to
So
spread.
it feels special to perform for a new crowd. Because we've been in Boston for many years now, and
this is our first time in Kentucky at all.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so, saw so many new faces and met so many new people.
Yeah.
It's been really beautiful.
That's
so
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a great time here.
I'm glad.
Had
Yeah.
the best fried chicken I've ever had.
Yes.
Oh, did you get it from Gus's?
No,
Is that
in Morning Fork.
We went to brunch.
Oh,
And he got like
yeah,
a chicken
okay.
and waffle
And it was,
situation.
it was honestly like
Fire.
the best fried chicken
I mean,
I've ever had.
it, look.
Shout out to Tammy, our server.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Amy. She
There you
rocked.
go. It's look, KFC. It's not the best fried chicken.
No.
Like
No. I
even
believe
as Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
We barely like we kind of like the Colonel. We like him enough,
Yeah.
but whatever. It's that's not the most important thing about Kentucky. And the fried chicken is what it is. It's fast food fried chicken. Who cares? We care way more about the bourbon and the
Okay.
horses and whatnot.
I
Of
love-
course. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're talking about Charles' music for right now. So I also want to touch on your all's submissions for Tiny Desk concerts because
Oh,
I
yeah.
love the production of that.
Thank you.
One of my favorites too is just whomever is holding up the literal tiny desk in front of the camera because it just made me laugh
Yeah, yeah.
immediately, but also it's just like I can see the humor and like just trying to catch somebody's attention
Yeah.
to get your music in front of, NPR or whomever that's, trying to make that assessment to get you there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What's some of the feedback that you had during that process?
Yeah.
I think we are so silly, and
are.
and we went to the dollar store and we saw a little tiny desk. We didn't even mean to
A literal tiny
find that.
desk.
We were like, oh my god,
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
this is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just like perfect for our
Yeah.
personalities, and
I think, like through our entire project too, we've often talked about how like, let's never ever sacrifice our silliness.
Yeah.
Like I think it's very easy to take yourself too seriously when
sure.
when you start to, work with a big band and a crew
Yeah, yeah.
and all that. Like, but at the end of the day, we're all just having fun
Yeah.
making music. And the music is important and fulfilling and beautiful to us, but we still are having fun. You know?
Well-
And so we want that to be like, that's why for those videos, we want that to be like one of the first things you notice.
Right.
That's what it feels like when we're performing. I like that. It feels like a friend group
Yes,
just
totally.
playing. And I think
Totally.
we try to incorporate
Totally.
that.
Yeah. And I mean, like, when you see a song with the title Sofia Vergara, you're like,
Yeah.
what is going to happen
Yeah,
here? Like,
exactly.
is it just like a love letter
Yeah.
or what? And then you get into it and it's just this like cozy, like peaceful, song. And it's like, oh no, these people are just like enjoying life and
Yeah.
enjoying making music with, and that
Yeah.
the title is almost like a secondary part
Yes,
to it and
totally.
everything, and there's something about that like cleverness to it that I think will help people, get in on the ground floor.
Thank you.
For sure.
Thank
so
you. That's
yeah,
so
of,
kind.
of
I love
course.
Sofia
yeah.
Vergara. We wrote it.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
wrote it while watching. Do you know the show Griselda?
I think so.
She-
Maybe
it's
I don't
like-
know.
It's a
Yeah.
Netflix series she was in. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
last
gotcha.
year,
Yeah,
years
yeah.
ago.
Gotcha.
She plays a really fierce ass role.
Yeah.
Nice.
Uh-huh. And it's a very sophisticated, serious role. And I don't know, we loved that show.
We were watching. It was
Yeah.
like I don't remember who. One of us was watching it alone, and then we were like, "Oh my god, we were watching it alone. We can write this whole thing about being independent." And, like, because
Yeah.
we're very like
That song's
we're very close, and we're
the
always
song's
doing
all
stuff
about like
together, and-
spending so much time with somebody, but also like enjoying the beauty in that, and then also finding some space for yourself.
So
Yeah.
how did
Yeah.
the duo actually start? Because we jumped basically like right into the
Yeah.
the meat of it all, and I apologize
No, no.
because that's just kind of how these interviews go for me anymore.
we both went to Berkeley, so we
Yeah.
met in the
Nice.
dorms.
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
same
And
floor, like two
very
rows
cool.
down.
Yeah, and then we the way we really became a band was we started singing with our friend, shout out Cole Smith,
Yes.
Nice.
in the stairwell, and when we saw the video that we had taken, we realized like we couldn't tell who was singing the harmony
Yeah.
between us two and who was
Yeah,
singing
we
like
lost
the
our own
main
parts.
part.
That's crazy.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I thought I was singing that, and so we literally couldn't tell each other's voices apart, and we were like, okay,
This is
All right.
awesome.
this might be something special.
Makes
we
sense.
Should keep trying.
And also like
For
Lauren,
sure.
and Lauren is just the best person ever.
And we
So,
also just became.
like,
I mean, we
yeah.
instantly wanted to spend every second with each other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I dig that, and the rest is history.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
guess.
Yeah.
So, talk to about the collaborative nature of
Yeah.
songwriting, because like for me, it's always been about like just sitting down, trying to knock it out, make it as like, you know, earnest and honest about what I'm feeling. So when you're co-writing with somebody else, you know, what does that energy look like for people who don't really understand songwriting as a craft?
Yeah. Well, I think it looks different. Depending on who you're with, how long have you known them?
Yes.
When you're writing with someone you're super close with.
Y'all have one brain.
We do. You know, at this point we do. Yeah.
It's funny because writing with other people is not the same at all as writing with Lauren.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
We totally enjoy it, and we've had some great co-writes with other people. It's so fun to like learn from them. But yes, we definitely just compliment each other, I think, in terms of like we finish each other's sentences, for lack of better words.
And also, like, I feel like Lauren's not afraid of my weird ass ideas, and she really like. Sometimes when I throw something crazy at her, she like helps me like mold it into something like, gorgeous. And then also she like has such a creative, beautiful mind.
Well, Axel's got this theater kid background, right? Like very improv-y and thinks in these most like spectacular, abstract ways.
Right.
And I started school as an English major. I kind of started as like really a writer, and so I see it. I like to kind of put all the parts together a little bit. And
she's always like, yes, but okay, this doesn't make sense if we say. Lauren's also like great grammar, like
right.
Best grammar ever.
I am a grammar police in our songs, and every once in a while I let something slip by, but
you kind of have to. I mean, you gotta let it be a little bit fun.
But that being said, we both learn from each other with those two things. So now we kind of just are bouncing off of each other with all of these vibes and ideas, and it's really just amazing.
And we even like argue sometimes. Like sometimes we're like, no, but or not argue, but like we're both like there's like tension.
If we disagree on something,
we're like, this doesn't make. I'm not. And then at some point, like 20 minutes later, we've come to the moment where like, oh, okay, this is.
It all makes sense, and you're ready to go.
Eventually, you find a third better idea than the one you may have been fighting for. You know,
definitely.
Yeah. So it's really great.
I gotcha. So what's on the horizon for you all next? What are you working on at the moment?
We're crafting up an album.
Yeah, we're working on a pretty big project we're excited about. And speaking of Sofia Vergara, that's actually in production right now, and we're excited to keep working with our producer on that. And
we're living in LA
soon.
Now.
Yes, just moved to LA.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
congratulations.
Yeah,
we're
super cool.
over there. So we're
cool.
just gonna throw ourselves in it.
Exactly.
Keep throwing ourselves in it.
As you've got to do. As you've got to do.
Yeah.
Axel and Lolo, thank you all so much for sitting down with me for a little bit.
Thank you for talking.
Or standing.
So much for having us.
We didn't reveal this, but it's very hot, and y'all had to stand in the shade because
it's
honestly, I love this.
visible.
Protected.
Yeah, for sure. Cheers, guys. Thank you all so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Got the baseball project, Scott and Steve here. Getting close to the end of my run at Bourbon and Beyond this weekend as well.
Good for you.
Very happy to have you guys on the show. Welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Y'all played an absolutely killer set earlier today. Y'all have been doing this for quite a while. What does it mean to you guys to bring baseball-themed music to a place like Bourbon and Beyond?
Well, you got a history of baseball with the Louisville Sluggers, the bats from here and everything, and the Redbirds, or is that did you have a team? Oh, your team is the Reds.
The Reds up in Cincinnati.
Yeah, but I mean, the Louisville AAA team. I think it must be for the AAA for the Reds.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
So,
in Lexington, we've got a single A team that's the Legends.
Oh, okay.
That are a lot of fun. They used to be affiliated with the Astros and then the Royals, and now they're just unaffiliated. But they're a great team to watch. They've had a fantastic season.
Yeah.
But
no, it's great to be here. I mean, Louisville's a great city, and everybody's told us so much about this festival, what a great festival it is, and it is
fantastic. Everything, it lived up to everything we'd heard about it.
Great.
And because we sing about a lot of older players from previous years, we sing about a lot of players who enjoyed some bourbon before or after the game.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it all fits.
That's true.
The great thing about having baseball teams in Kentucky is they're usually selling bourbon at the at the park too. So
that's pretty cool.
Not a bad thing to indulge in.
Cool.
How on earth did a baseball history project come to fruition with music as the vehicle for you all?
We're a 5-piece band. Myself
Right.
and Scott, Peter Buck and Mike Mills from REM, and Linda Pittman, our drummer from various bands, Zuzu's Pedals and other bands. And we, of our band, 4 of the 5 of us are baseball fanatics. Myself, Scott, Linda, and Mike. Peter more casually, but Peter just loves playing, and we're all old friends. And, Scott and I, we write the majority of the songs. We both always had the idea in the back of our heads about someday doing a record about baseball, among the many other records we both have been do all the time.
Fantasized about.
Right.
It's a natural thing. It's like someday I'm going to do this project or that thing, and then you forget about it, or you shelve it. You say someday becomes next year. But Scott and I, really for the first time we actually hung out was the night before REM got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Wow.
I think it was 2007, and it was a big party the night before the induction. Well, as often happens, or would happen in those days, we were the last 2 standing at the bar. And
Bourbon was involved.
Bourbon was involved.
Oh, fantastic.
And
I love that.
And I think at some point in the conversation, one said to the other, by way of conversation, I've always wanted to make a record about baseball. And we realized we both had that idea to do it. So let's do it together. Wouldn't that be fun? And then from that point on, over the next 3 months, we immediately just dove into writing the songs, cranking them out, booked time in the studio. And from that conversation to the time the record got made, it was about 3 months. And we figured, look, we'll make this record. It's an insane thing, like you intimated, like a rock and roll band about baseball. We'll press we'll press a 500 copies, sell it to some fans, and have a laugh. Well, next thing you know, the label that puts out Scott's records, Yep Rock Records, said we want to put that out. And next thing you know, David Letterman's show said we want to have you on the show, and that was our first gig.
And your first gig was on Letterman.
Our first gig was on Letterman, and from that point, 18 years later, we're still here.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
That's how we started.
Because I of course have to do research, but before I sit down with any of the bands and everything, and that Letterman performance popped up, and I was like, well, surely this was because Letterman was like a fan of you all for a while, but the fact that was the first time you ever
Yep.
God,
our very first performance was on Letterman.
Wild.
And let's not pretend that it wasn't because we had the REM connection,
sure,
because that was a lot of it. But I'd been on Letterman before with the -5,
right?
With Wilco, I did.
Yeah, of course.
We played it before, and and we played it, of course, a few times with REM when I was in the band, and
of course.
But yeah, it was kind of like insane to be there, and they were shooting 2 shows that day because it was a Thursday, and they shoot 2, and right before us was this new singer, who nobody had heard of. We never heard of. It was Adele. So she did the show right before us. She was like, nobody knew who she was.
How on God's green earth do you follow that?
Yeah. Well, luckily it was on a different day and everything.
Right.
Nobody knew who she was then.
Of course. Of course. Yeah.
It was kind of cool though.
So basically, our career trajectory is from Letterman show to the Bourbon Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's other stuff in the middle.
Hopefully there's still some kind of meaning being at Bourbon and Beyond, though. Like it's not just another gig.
Yeah.
Though,
I'm sorry, Bourbon Beyond.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
I have to ask you all though. Have you tried the Field of Dreams bourbon?
No.
Do you know about this?
No, we have not.
We've been to the Field of Dreams, but
so it's bourbon made with the corn from the Field of Dreams.
Oh, that's cool.
And all of the corks are made with like old-timey baseball players engraved on them.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Very, very cool. Y'all should really look into it.
Is it on the grounds, or you have to kind of hunt it down somewhere? Or?
I know it's in Lexington. I think it's pretty widely distributed. But I think that'd be a good little collaboration for you all, at least.
It's rye. Is it rye because it's corn? Isn't rye?
No, it is a bourbon.
It's bourbon.
It is a bourbon.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a rye bourbon.
Yeah.
But
yeah. No, that sounds great.
Yeah. It's really interesting.
We've gone there a couple times to the Field of Dreams and walked out in the corn and everything like that, and played on the field.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's really awesome. It's really,
I love that.
Really great. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Beautiful place.
Very cool. Anyway, thank you all so much for sitting down for a little bit with me. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you got a million other things that you've got to be doing.
We're going to catch the Water Boys now, actually, so that'll be fun.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. Guys, thank you very much.
Right.
It was a pleasure.
Man. Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, folks. This is how we're wrapping up our coverage of Bourbon and Beyond with St. Lucia. John and Patty.
Hi.
Thank you all so much for being here.
Our pleasure.
It is always fun, too, when I get to actually chat with people who make music that I am a fan of.
Yay!
So I am and this has kind of been a theme for me today, too. I got to hang out a little bit with the Gin Blossoms earlier, so I got to kind of wax poetic for a little bit about how I enjoyed their music. And I've been following, your all's tunes for quite a while. And you've had this kind of like steady rise in popularity over the past decade, basically, then some. What does it look like for you all to come to a place like Bourbon and Beyond? You're from overseas, play these songs for maybe some fans, of course, but also for people who might just have no idea who you all are. They might have heard you on, the Sirius XM alternative channels, or, friends have been like, oh, you've got to check out this band. This is one of my favorite bands. You've never heard them before. But coming to Bourbon and Beyond in Kentucky, what's that look like for you all?
Well, for us, in a way, playing festivals is like the best thing, because one of the hardest things in this day and age is breaking through the noise,
Absolutely.
And just like posting on social media, like whether you're like releasing a record and it's on streaming, it's just very hard to break through like all the stuff that's there. But but because we have a show that we love and that I think we put on a good live show. What's so great about a festival is exactly what you just said. You're playing for people who know your music, but then a lot of people who don't. And so I think it's the best way to convert people who don't know who you are into fans, potentially. I'm sure some people will think you suck, but but it's the best chance you have of reaching across the divide,
Right.
Yeah, and there's something so magical about a festival, no matter where it is. You know what I mean? Worldwide, you get a bunch of people together that love music, and you get to connect with them. That, like, as cliche and corny as it may sound, that is literally what makes it so magical and special,
Well, and I was talking with Dean, whom you all just talked with earlier, too, about our musical tastes. And he was saying that, back in the day, back in the 80s, he'd go see a metal show on Friday nights. And then on Saturdays, he was going to see the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
And I think, too, that, you come to Bourbon and Beyond where you're getting country one day, you're getting 90s nostalgia the next. And then, you also got alt-rock bands like you all, who are bringing something that people might never have been exposed to at all and converting them into new fans, for sure. And, it's just the chance to be exposed to something entirely, out of their wheelhouse, for sure. I want to ask you all, too, about being a couple and playing music together as well. Now,
Don't do it.
We're about to get divorced, actually.
Oh, God, I'm so sorry. Because, my wife and I, we work really well as a team. We also have kids, but I know how hard it is when you're trying to build IKEA furniture.
Oh,
right?
I love it.
Well, okay, great.
She's crazy.
Yeah, but no one is there to help me.
Sure.
This is how you have to do it.
But when,
I'm there to help you. What are you talking
yeah,
about?
like one screw.
Fuck. We put loads of stuff together.
But this is your livelihood, right?
Yeah.
This is what, everything lives and dies by, St. Lucia.
But I think this is what, if we were in it for something else, we would not be in it. But it's just, we've chosen this path and for a reason. And it's kind of a very truthful path and a very, emotional path.
Yeah.
But life is like that, and I think we get to live our life day by day by this, you know? And I think I'd rather do this than sit somewhere where I wouldn't enjoy it. So,
no, but we just, I feel like, Patty and I are very lucky that we found each other because we both see the world in a very similar way and have very similar values. And I think that the path we've taken in life has taken us down this road. We've chosen it partially, it's chosen us partially. And the people we've brought into our team, into the band, into, our management, whatever, we've just developed really good relationships with them, and we just believe in surrounding yourself with people that you love and things that you love, and I think that I don't know what it is. It's just we just feel very lucky because we love our band, we love the people, we really we're just so excited to play shows because we get to hang out with our best friends.
Right. That might have been after kids, though, I feel. I think once you have kids, everything else becomes extremely easy. Like the things that you thought that were tough on the road, and then once you have kids, you're like,
it's like the kids part is hard, but it frames everything else. Things that would annoy you in the past.
I was going to say, did you all figure something out that I haven't yet?
I might get clearer if I have bourbon.
No, it's all good because I was about to say if there's some magic handbook I haven't read yet, my wife and I need to.
No, the kids are hard. It makes everything else.
Yeah,
Well, it's the same thing as how exercise. I think the reason it makes you feel good is because it frames all of the rest of the day as easy in comparison to running 100 miles or whatever.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
It's the clarity that the runner's high or whatever that just once you've pushed past that.
I feel like I have mental endurance. My mental endurance has the capacity of enduring has increased.
Yeah.
I was just texting with my wife. I've been here for the past 4 days, and so she's been.
Oh yeah.
She's been home with the kids, and I feel really bad.
Man. You about to pay for that.
I'm due, man. We got our youngest is about to be 1 in a couple weeks, and our oldest is going to be 5 next month.
Oh wow! Yeah,
so she's had
turn.
her hands full, and I am about to go into the pits and fires of hell very soon. No, I love my kids. I love my kids very much, but she texted me and was like, "Yeah, I'm going to be drinking a lot of bourbon tonight when when you get home." And I was like, "That is completely fair. I totally understand it." But I was talking with, and I'm also a musician. I know how hard it is to put bourbon to playing music and drinking and playing music together and all that as well. But how do you all celebrate when you're done playing on stage? Now that you're in Kentucky, do you get off and drink some bourbon?
We'll have a drink or mezcal.
100% going to have some bourbon. Like I said, I should be having it right now. I don't know what's happening.
I mean, I think we used to drink a lot more bourbon. We've sort of went through a really bourbon phase. Now we're more tequila and mezcal normally backstage. But I mean, while we're here, for sure. We went to this place called... is it north of Bourbon? Great restaurant in town last night.
Right.
And we all had bourbon. You know what I mean? So of course, when in Rome,
it's fantastic.
We will definitely be having bourbon.
Yeah, absolutely. You should. Yeah, I always have to. I mean, like I said, I'm from Kentucky. I have to be kind of the little, bourbon advocate. The little,
your duty.
Yeah, I have to do it. I have to encourage people to do it.
Yeah, dude,
for sure.
Of course.
But I just want to say I appreciate you all being here and rounding out the end of Bourbon Beyond for me. I unfortunately will miss your all set later, but I have to go home.
Tell your wife to come with the kids.
Yeah.
Our kids are here too.
Now he's thinking about it.
No, I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
But I genuinely love your all's music. I have to just kind of gush a little bit about it, and it's been so fun to just get the chance to talk to you all and say thank you for everything that you have done and the joy that you have brought to me.
That's so sweet of you to say.
In my life as well. And I can't wait to see what's next for you all.
Appreciate it, man.
But
thank you.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Cheers.
Well, folks, that does it for Bourbon and Beyond 2025. My thanks to Danny Wimmer Presents for letting me come and cover this year. My thanks to Lemonade PR for all their help. My thanks to Ashton Magnuson Media for all their help. As always, this was a crazy year that if you want to hear more about my thoughts on it, head to the patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast from the $5 and up tier. That's where I get into some of the nitty gritty with Chad, my daily bourbon, on how I felt about some of the finer details of this year's festival. I won't go into it too much here. I also talked about it on my live stream from this past week. So there's plenty of ways to listen to it, to check it out. But overall, I was very fortunate to be there, and I hope to come back next year in some capacity. Not sure exactly what just yet. But we will figure it out. Until then, though, I just gonna say thank you, and we're gonna get out of here. I'll see you real soon next week, episode 400. I cannot believe it. Oh my goodness. Thank you for everything. I love you so much. Until then, I'm Perry, and this is My Bourbon Podcast.